Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the world's #1 speaker coach, Kevin T. Robertson. I'm proud to have here with me one of the top leadership speakers in the education industry, the one and only Mr. Christopher Brazzle. Chris, what's going on, baby?
Hey, how's everything going? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it's all good, man. I couldn't wait to get a chance to interview you, Chris. Let's start out, what we cover on the Speaker Focus platform, obviously, is, showcasing and highlighting the top leadership speakers in the industry. And I wanted to go over some of your background. Tell me how you got started. Like, what really made you get into the speaking game, like back in the day?
Oh my goodness, man. So growing up in church, my mom used to just throw me out there, put me out there, any type of oratorical contest. I was in it and killing the game. Let me just tell you, killing the game.
Wow.
Every oratorical contest I was in, I think I tied once. And as time went on, I was like, man, I got something here. But back then, growing up, and this was since I was like 10 years old.
Okay.
I remember when I was 16, I got invited to do a presentation, and this was the first time now when I was 16 where I got paid, and it was $100.
Okay.
So as a high school sophomore, you're thinking $100, man, you balling.
16. Hey, Chris, 100 goes a long way when you're 16.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that was the very first time, and everything was booked through my mom. My mom actually told me, she said, hey, they want you to come speak at the Youth Day program, and they're going to pay you. And I was like, pay me? Once again, from 10 to 16, I was doing it for free.
Okay.
So this was a big deal. And so I went ahead, I spoke, everyone loved it, went on through the rest of my high school career. And I just never really thought much about it. And then when I became an educator, I was speaking in schools, at school assemblies, hosting events. And people used to tell me all the time, man, you're in the wrong business. Like, you're in the wrong business. But
Wow.
once again, I'm thinking, man, I just went to school. I got my bachelor's. I'm working. I'm finally making a salary. So I'm thinking, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know if this is a business. Now, that was 19 years ago. That was 19 years ago. And then last summer is when, I know it was God just speaking. He woke me up one morning in the middle of my sleep. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was actually on a mission trip in Virginia Beach, Virginia, with my oldest son. And he woke me up, and when I just went walking, and he was talking and saying, man, I got a new mission for you. And I was like, what? Now, mind you, I had never heard God speak to me so clearly before. And I'm saying, you got a new mission for me? And it just painted a picture right in front of me. And so when I came back to Houston, Texas from Virginia Beach, I said, man, I got to look into this because, God said it, you got to move.
That's right. You got to respond to the call.
Absolutely. So I started doing some homework and some research, and lo and behold, who do I find on Facebook? KTR, the #1 speaker coach. And then that's how you and I connected. And as they say, the rest is history.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Chris, it's amazing that you had that background and you responded to the calling a whole lot earlier at a very young age. What was that moment that you knew that you were skilled at words? You were good at putting thought with words. Like a lot of kids don't have that kind of poise or discipline. So where did that come from?
Man, I'll be honest with you. It came from being a class clown.
Okay.
I was a class clown. So speaking for me was never really an issue because I always wanted that attention that I felt like I never received from home or even in the classroom.
Gotcha.
So trying to make others laugh, telling jokes, being just the highlight of people's day, as I call it, is what really made me think, you know what? You might be on to something.
Hmm. Okay. Chris, what do you think is the most primary common trait in the top leadership speakers or some of the greatest orators in the world? What do you think is that number one thing that bonds all of them together?
Man, well, now knowing what I know, I think it's hard work.
Hmm.
I mean, I think everyone, because people realize, I mean, things change constantly. And so if you're in a position where you're not willing to change, then you're going to be stuck in that mindset that you've always had. And
Hmm.
so I think the number one trait now is just being at a point where you can adapt your mindset, change your mindset, and put in the work that gets you to a point or a place that you want to be. Now, if you're stuck in this past mindset, then you're going to be always thinking about your failures, your disappointments, your difficulties, those roadblocks, those challenges that you
Hmm.
went through. But but if you start changing your mindset to what I call having a future mindset, then you can kind of see what the big picture is. You can see what the end goal is. And then you start working hard work. Now, trust me, it's not easy.
Hmm.
Hard work to achieve those goals.
Gotcha.
And sometimes people get stuck in the present mindset. And when you have that present mindset, you just focused on your busyness, the temptations, but really you're not working towards the future. So having that future mindset, I think, is what it takes, because you understand that, listen, this is going to be work. It's a process. I mean, just like the program, it was work. It wasn't hard, but if you put in the work, you put in the time, and you see what that end goal could be,
Hmm.
I mean, you're going to put in the work, and then eventually the floodgates will open.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's more of a mindset too, Chris. When you talk about, it's more of an approach to leadership, more
Mm-hmm.
of a positive mindset of where you see, a sunset beyond the horizon, the
Right.
positive goals that you can accomplish beyond the horizon,
Right.
and for you to have that kind of mindset right now, even through COVID-19, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we talk, you're always positive, always upbeat. How have you been moving through COVID-19, both personally and professionally? And how do you see yourself coming out of COVID-19?
Great question. Great question. Well, personally, I've been trying to do things, not just for myself, but for my family, to keep them, high, not low, keep them high. So entertained.
Hmm.
We try to do different challenges, cook-offs here in the home between myself, my wife, me and my oldest son, just different things to keep them growing. Because
Right,
listen, it's been 5 months. It's been 5 months since they've been in a school building, right?
right,
And so now I could have just sat on these 5 months. Hey, let's be lazy as hell, you
right.
know, and did nothing. But but who was that going to benefit?
Mm,
No one. But who was it going to hurt? Me,
right.
and us. So personally, just trying to do things just to have fun and just trying to sharpen my mind. I
Hmm.
think I think I told my wife over the summer, I think I read 12 books,
Hmm.
just trying to stay sharp and doing things.
Got you.
Um, and professionally, I just been working. I've been
Hmm.
working. And here's the thing, trying to be consistent,
Mm,
and people, they mess up that word consistent. See, consistent is not necessarily, what, I'm gonna do one thing this week, and then maybe next week I'm gonna try to work on this one thing. No, consistent means daily. I
mm.
mean, daily. If you can find 30 minutes a day, if that's all you got, I mean, if you got 30 minutes a day that you can give to your craft, then give the best 30 minutes that you have to your craft. That's
Wow.
the consistency that I'm talking about. And it's daily. It has to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, repeat. You
Got you.
can't get into the habit of saying, well, I'm going to just do this one thing right now, then I'm going to go and just do whatever I want. Because when you have that type of mindset, and if,
Hmm.
if that's the type of consistency that you're defining,
Right.
then you'll never really get to where you want to be.
Got you.
And so that's what I've been trying to do professionally, is just being consistent daily. Whatever amount of time that I have allotted. And here's a good thing. Another thing too is if you got 30 minutes on Monday, then 30 minutes on Monday. But if on Tuesday, if you have 2 hours, then you give that 2 hours, you know? So just being consistent day to day, whatever that time. And for me, see, because I'm still working,
okay,
you know, I still have my day-to-day normal job and
gotcha.
as an educator.
Right.
So knowing that I have to spend my time doing that, but guess what? When I come home, I'm still dedicating. I'm giving dedicated time to working on my craft.
Okay,
And
now, Chris, let's clarify this for the people that may not understand how serious you are with this thing. When you say your craft, you're talking about the craft and the business, and the discretionary time is going into your building your speaker business. Would that be correct?
Absolutely. I'm not talking about, listen, when I come home, I've left education in the rearview mirror. That's on the back burner. That's on the back burner. Now on the front burner, it's all about the professional speaking. It's all about being an author, everything that has to do with the business side of things. Nothing else.
Chris, I'm glad you were available to, to come on the Speaker Focus platform tonight and share these strategies with me, because a lot of people, a lot of our platform, they still have 9-to-5 jobs. They cannot see an exit strategy. You and I have discussed this before during our one-on-one coaching sessions. They can't see how they're going to transition out of something, out of the main thing that they're doing into the main thing they want to do, right? So can you describe the kind of specific activity? Because a lot of people just laying dormant, and they're not working on their craft. They're not in attack mode the way you are. Could you just, for our platform, could you share some of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, Chris, to stay sharp, even with reading and your daily activity, to be consistent?
Absolutely. And here's the thing, affirmations, they go a long way. And so I want to start off by saying this. Everything you do is designed to give you exactly what you will get. So if you're not putting in the work, if you're not putting in the time, then guess what's going to happen? Then your speaker business is going to be left behind.
Wow.
And I explain this to my own kids. I have an incoming 8th grader and an incoming 7th grader, and they want to, play basketball. So love it, because I played basketball, but I have a lot of basketball analogies, right? And used to be a coach. And so when I was a coach, I used to tell my players, this: discipline is doing what you're supposed to do when no one else is looking. If you're waiting for me to take you outside and practice basketball, right? Even though you don't come and ask, if you're waiting for me, then you're gonna be waiting. You need to have that wickedness to say, you know what, I want to be better. And so that's where it started from me. I want to be better. I want this so much that I want to see. Here's the thing. I want to leave my 9-to-5. I want to leave it. And that's the first decision you have to make. Now, listen, here's the thing about it too.
Chris, you're already gone up here, right? You're already gone. You're already gone.
And some people, listen, it's okay. If you say, you know what, no, I want to do this part-time, that's fine. Do it part-time.
God bless you, more power to you. We're not knocking you.
Right. It's no problem with that. But if you want to do it full-time, then you have to put in the work. It's like this. Let's say you was a high school student playing a sport, because this I'll tell them, and you're trying to get a scholarship, right? Let's say your speaker business is that scholarship, getting your degree paid for 100%. And let's say over the course of 4 years, it's going to be a $200,000 scholarship, right? Or in your case, let's say you want to make $200,000 a year in the speaking business. Here's the question you have to ask yourself. Is the work that you're putting in, are you putting in $200,000 a year work?
Speak on it, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, because see, if you're not putting in that type of effort and that type of work, then you have the wrong thing. It's not going to happen. See, a lot of these high school athletes, who may be good in PE. I mean, they are PE MVPs.
That's right.
Right.
Intramural MVP.
Right. But they'll never get that $200,000 scholarship because they're not putting in that effort that it takes. So if you're not putting in that effort to make $200,000 a year or whatever your goal is, because that's what you have to ask yourself. It's internal. You can have KTR as a coach. You can have any other coaches that you want. But guess what? You still have to put in the work yourself. I mean, KTR, yes, he can coach you, but he got other things. He can't go out and do it for you.
That's right. That's right. Now I'm glad. Let's segue into something, Chris, because that's a great point that you brought up. I have a very rigid and stern and no nonsense system of accountability in place.
Right.
I want you to help some of the students understand possibly that just started. You have graduated the coaching program and you are in full blown marketing mode. You're doing what you can on top of still having a 9-to-5 job. I wanted to have you on because there are a lot of people on the platform that are in that situation and they're stuck and maybe they don't know what to do. Let's go back to when you first started the coaching program. What's the biggest thing that you got out of the coaching program on the Speaker Focus platform?
Man, there was a lot. You want me to try to name one?
But if you can, watch this, Chris. What's the thing you felt like you struggled with the most?
Well, definitely.
Go ahead.
So for me, it was definitely the business side of it. Just understanding that this is a business, because see, I just couldn't, that was myself. I could not wrap my mind around, like you're telling me that there are people who actually do this full time, 365 days a year. See, that was hard for me. Now, listen, I've been to, probably hundreds of conferences, and I've seen speakers, people that they bring in to speak. And I'm just thinking, okay, well, maybe he do this on the side, and not even thinking that, people are getting paid $5, $10, $15, $25,000 just to come in and give a keynote speech. So the biggest thing for me was understanding that it's a business. And so watch this. Here's the thing. You have your personal life and you have your professional life, right? And when you have your personal life, you have a personal mindset. But when you have your business or your professional life, then you need to be in the business or the professional set of mind. If you're not in the right state of mind, then it's going to be hard for you.
Okay. So you had to overcome the mental hurdle first of the business side of just comprehending that I could actually do this. So what was the moment, Chris, at what stage in the coaching program? Because you really handled developing your signature programs pretty well. When I told you, I said, Chris, if you don't develop these signature programs, your headlines, your topics, your titles, your descriptions, the 4 signature programs, put your bio together, all your sales tools, then you got nothing to sell. So what was the moment when you said, okay, I got to hit this thing head on. I'm going to follow the formula. And another reason why what I loved about you being one of our top coaching students is because you followed the formula to the letter. You never try to reinvent the wheel.
No, and see, that's where people mess up. Man, I think people, they end up trying to have you end up with a massive failure making that number one mistake of trying to reinvent the wheel. When there have been people, KTR, and I'm sure he's probably told you this, because I know he told me, is when he first started, he went through all of those roadblocks, those challenges, and done things that he thought, was right, and got slapped in the face a couple of times.
That's right.
And so now he's trying to teach you not to make those same mistakes. And that's where people mess up, is thinking, man, who is this? Who is this dude? Okay, just because he had these mistakes, these failures, these roadblocks, these challenges, these hurdles, I'm not going to have those.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to take what he have, and I'm gonna just hear them just a little bit. I'm gonna get just a little bit out of it, and then I'm gonna go and try to do my own. Listen. That's the number one mistake that not only speakers make, authors make, because here's the thing, they've already been through it. And so they're trying to just give you an easier path to take. Right. Things that they did, they knew was wrong because they learned from them. Why would you go and get your feet stuck in the same mud that they was in?
That's a great point. Chris, let me ask you a question. From an observational standpoint, the way you look at the way other speakers market themselves after you graduated the Speaker Focus program, what's the difference between you looking at everybody else versus like how your view of the world right now? How do you look at other speakers and authors right now?
Like, child, please. But really, that's I mean, that's how I live, because I'm just thinking to myself, and the more and more, I'm hearing them and seeing them, I'm thinking, man, y'all, you really up there, you're talking loud and you ain't saying nothing.
Right. Hey, Chris, you know what's amazing with you, bro? See, this is one of the most rewarding parts about being a speaker coach, right? Us being colleagues, us being business associates, and we got a friendship out of it. You really are very, I mean, you're a loyal human being, and you've been loyal to us. You've taken all the direction, and you went out there and you're doing it, man. You have the right kind of marketing activity every single day. So what's amazing to me is that when you can see those kind of results, and you're not even the same person anymore. Like the way you talk right now, like I'm feeling like I'm in a masterclass right now. Cause when you're interviewing somebody, they're supposed to be doing the majority of the talking, but I'm hearing you talk, and it's a distinct difference. You talk like a professional marketer who understands the business versus a speaker just wanting to get into the game. So I just wanted to bring that up to you because, I had to, that's a very proud moment. So congratulations. Right. All your success. Chris, let's talk about your book for a second, man.
Yeah.
I know you're an author. Every time I see you, man, you and your wife are out there on the road hustling the book. I mean, this brother's hustling his book still with COVID-19 going on. So tell me about the book, Chris.
And appreciate you bringing that up. So actually, it was actually my second book. My first book is From Class Clown to Principal.
Wow.
So I talk about my journey. And that book, it didn't really do what I wanted it to do. But it was all right. I said, I'm going to come back and I got something for that. But then after I started this program, I said, you know what? I'll talk about leadership principles that inspire transformation.
Go ahead, Chris. Give me that.
Give
me that signature program again.
You're not going to put that out there. So leadership principles that inspire transformation.
Wow.
And so I said, man, I want to put something out in the marketplace that people have never even seen of or heard of. And so as I was developing, the thoughts was coming to my mind. And so I created my book, which actually became a bestseller, called Outlier Leadership.
Nice.
The 5 no excuses habits of outlier leaders. And so I talk about, it's all about habits. And that goes back to what we talked about earlier, being consistent. See, habits are things you do every single day. And the first habit is feeding your brain. Feeding your brain. You are what you eat. You are what you, so if you continue to feed your mind with negativity, drama, things that are not good for you, then guess what? That's what you'll be. You'll be negative. You'll be full of drama. But if you feed your mind with positivity, love, and things that matter, that truly matter, then that's what you'll be. You are what you eat. So be careful about the things that you are putting right here in your mind.
Wow.
And it has to be something daily. And here's the great thing. When you feed your mind, it doesn't have to just be reading books. Now with the technology that we have now, I mean, you got podcasts. I mean, you can listen to, this interview, right? You have TED Talks, audio books. I mean, the list goes on and on. So it's no excuses. No excuses. Okay. And then number 2, we talked about how to uplift and inspire. As a leader, you have to understand that you have a team of people. And with your team of people, you always have to be uplifting and inspiring. We talk about the culture side of things. I mean, if you have a bad culture, then guess what? If you have a toxic culture, then you're going to end up being lonely and having a business that will fail. Mm-hmm. Then we talk about remembering the big picture. Very key. And I can tie this into your speaker business. Okay. What is the big picture in your speaker business? What is it that you achieve to be? What is it that you want? If you want to leave your 9-to-5 and make this a full-time gig, okay, then that's the big picture. Never take your eyes off of the big picture.
Got you.
But then again, what are you doing to make that happen? Mm-hmm. And you have to remember that. Then the fourth, if we talk about remembering your influence. See, especially in the speaker business, I mean, you're trying to make a massive impact in the world. You're influencing a lot of people with the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Correct.
And then last but not least, I talk about reflecting. And reflecting, you have to reflect daily. It has to be daily. And the thing that I love about it is I get to reflect what I call twice a day. So in the morning, when I leave the house and I go to the school building, guess what? I get a chance to reflect. And what that also allows me to do, if there's anything that happened at home, whether positive or negative, I try not to take it into the school building because they don't deserve that. Okay. And the same thing in the evening. When I leave the school building and I'm coming home, I leave that stuff on the highway, on the roads, because my family don't deserve whatever happened at work. They deserve the best of me. And that's what I intend to give them.
Wow.
And then I have, so I told you about the first book. And so I have another book that's coming out. It's actually, I should be getting the editing part back probably later this week. Okay. But it's called Thriving After High School. Okay. What I would teach my 18-year-old self about life and relationships. Ah, wow. And here's the key though. It's not just thriving. At the top, it's surviving, but it has an X through it. See, we've been in survival mode my whole life. No longer in survival. It's time to thrive, baby. That's right. It's time to thrive.
That's right, Chris.
And so that's coming out real soon.
I can't wait to hear about that one when it comes out. We'll make sure we have you back on so we can give you some press on that. Well, listen, Chris, if anybody wants to get in contact with you to purchase some of your books or to book you for speaking engagements, go ahead and give everybody your contact information. So if they want to reach out to you for networking or speaking engagements or get a hold of your books.
Absolutely. You can reach me. Email is author.drbrazzle@gmail.com. That's AUTHORDRBRAZZLE@gmail.com. Or you can reach me on www.drbrazzle.com.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Go to drbrazzle.com to book Christopher Brazzle for speaking engagements. Christopher Brazzle is one of the preeminent leadership speakers in the market today. He is very educated. It's been a pleasure to have him on the show today, not only to have him part of the Speaker Focus platform and part of our coaching program. Chris, it's an honor to be associated with you and be business associates with you. We wish you nothing but the best, man. Hey, look, stay focused on your goals and dreams. Thanks so much for coming on speakerfocus.com.
Thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure.
All right, boss. I'll talk to you real soon.
Okay.
It's far from over, Chris. We just getting started, baby.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Okay.